Aloha! Here we are in grade 4, module 2, lesson 3, and we're going to be investigating and using a formula for the area of a rectangle. A formula is kind of like a recipe. It'll tell you exactly how to find the area, and we're going to look at why that helps us to have a formula. Okay, well, let's find out what we're talking about here. So, this rectangle is 6 centimeters long and 3 centimeters wide. Okay, and sometimes we get caught up on which is the length and which is the width. Well, length means long, right? Length means the long side, and width means the wide side, right? Width, wide. But in this case, it's not that important because we're multiplying. So we can switch our numbers. It does not matter which one is the length, which one is the width. We're going to be multiplying them together. Okay? And 6 centimeters times 3 centimeters. Since I wrote those things on there, I'm going to just redraw it over here for us. Okay? And I want you to think about 6 centimeters. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lines makes 6 centimeters, right? And then 3 centimeters this way, 2 lines, makes 3 centimeters. Now let's pretend this is like a miniature little rug that you have in a miniature little mouse's house, okay? And our little rug, just going to draw these lines straight out. And we're going to find how many square centimeters our rug is, okay? Do you see the little square centimeters? So each of these is 1 centimeter on each side, right? 1 centimeter this way, 1 centimeter this way, 1 centimeter this way, 1 centimeter this way. That's what makes it a square centimeter, right? So there's 6 going this way and 3 going this way. So how many do we have altogether? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And you might have been yelling at your screen because it's 6 times 3, or the length times the width, which is 18 square centimeters, right? And this is going to be whatever units we have, square feet, square meters, square centimeters, whatever you have. It's going to be squares because, like I just showed you, they are squares, all right? You could draw those, but as your numbers get bigger, it's better to just multiply your two numbers together. Okay, let's look at another one. We just did 6 times 3, which is 18. Now we're going to do 60 times 3, thinking about what we did in lesson 2, where we were multiplying tens, right? So 6 times 3 is 18, so 60 times 3 is 180. So the area that's inside of here, this whole part inside, like a rug or a building, that is in square centimeters. It's 180 square centimeters. Good place to pause me if you need to write this down. All right, very good. So we're going to talk a little bit more about this formula that we have for area. So our formula is length times width. Like I said, it's kind of like a recipe. How do you find the area? You multiply the length times the width. And you're going to be using this your whole life. You know, how many square feet is the house I want to build? How many square feet is my room because I want to buy new carpet and I need to know how many square feet. This is very useful. And we're using the commutative property, which means our order doesn't matter. Because when we multiply length times width, 6 times 3, or width times length, 3 times 6, our answer is going to be 18 both times, right? So it does not matter which order you multiply them in. Got it? All right. Now sometimes we get a little more challenging problem where we have an unknown side length, right? And we have a P here. You could use any letter to represent an unknown. Sometimes we use an N, sometimes we use a V, sometimes we use a P. Could be any letter, and the M just stands for meters, the units, right? So we don't know this length. We only measured the width, which was 10 meters. But we know the area is 50 square meters. So we need to find the unknown side length. Now, we know our formula is area equals length times width. We know our area is 50 square meters, so I can just plug it in over here and then say equals length times blank, right? Oh, and it's actually width, right? Because my width is 10, but it, like I said, it doesn't matter, right? So 10 times something. This is my P. I don't know what goes in there. Well, what is 50 divided by 10? Because if I have an area of 50 and I know one side is 10, then this P is going to be 5, right? Because 5 times 10 is 50. 5 times 10 is 50. 50 divided by 10 is 5. So my unknown side length is 5 meters, right? Now remember, the area is in square meters because it's an actual square meter, right? The total area of the floor is in square meters, but the side length would just be meters because it is just the straight measurement of the sides. Okay, got it? Good place to pause me. You will be seeing some problems like this today, so make sure you know how to find unknown side lengths. Okay, and we're going to do another unknown side length for some practice. Here I know my area is 450 meters squared, and I know my length is 50, but I don't know the A. I don't know the unknown side length there. Could you pause me here and try to find it? What a challenge. Okay, so if my area is equal to my length times my width, and my area is 450 square meters or meters squared, however you want to write it, and my length is 50, 50 times what is 450? Okay, now I could think about 45 tens is equal to 5 tens times 5 times what is 45? 9, right? So 9 times 50 is 450. So A is equal to 9 meters. Because 9 times 50 is 450 square meters. All right, good place to pause me. Make sure you have that written down. Gonna see some of these later. All right, and now we have a word problem. Speaking of things we're going to see later. A room has the area of 80 meters squared. The width of the room is 10 meters. Okay, so I'm just going to make a sketch of the room. It does not have to be perfect. It's just going to be a rectangle. That's about all I need to know, right? And I know that the whole thing is 80 square meters. I know that's the whole middle part, right? That whole rug, that whole floor, that whole building, right? 80 square meters. And I know my width is 10 meters, but what I don't know, maybe A, my unknown, is my length. Okay? 80 equals 10 times blank. 8 tens is equal to 110 times blank. What times 10 is equal to 8? 8 times 1 is equal to 8. So 8 times 10 is equal to 80. So A is equal to 8 meters. All right? I hope that it helps you understand area. It's really helpful for construction, for building. So many things we do in our lives. You're going to need to know the area. Okay? Thanks so much. Have a great day. Aloha.